Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
We're going to talk more about this with France 24's James Andre, who joins me on the set. Very strong words there from the U.S. President Donald Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. Donald Trump saying that basically both countries broke that ceasefire deal, and especially showing a lot of frustration with the Israelis, saying that he considered that the fact that basically there was a time frame. Once again, we've not had the details of how this ceasefire is supposed to work, but basically said they had 12 hours and Israel went out and bombed Iran in a way that he says he'd never seen before. And it was extremely violent. So he said he was very, very, very frustrated with Israel. And what we've learned in the wake of what happened just there is that there was a phone call between Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, with Donald Trump saying, you must turn those bombers away and, stop this bombing campaign you've just launched against Iran, and basically Benjamin Netanyahu saying that it was too late to do that and that there needed to be a response for the Iranian breach in the ceasefire. So right now it's very unclear whether those planes have turned around or not. But what we have heard from the White House is that basically Donald Trump used some very, very strong words with Netanyahu, and this is, once again, the White House saying that Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, understood the importance and the severity of the situation. So what's going to happen next is anyone's guess. We'll have to see. But, this could very well be, the end of this crisis. It really, really does depend on what Israel decides to do and what the next steps might be.
Right. So it seems from what you're saying that the ball is really in Israel's court at the moment. I mean, do we think in any way this could be the end of this very short-lived ceasefire?
Well, it's anybody's guess. I mean, the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is certainly very, very angry at Benjamin Netanyahu because what he had tried to do was posture as the peacemaker by sending out this truth social message early this morning saying that there was a ceasefire that had been broken by the United States, making it, in a sense, appear that, it was the United States leading and who had indeed, I'd say, brokered this peace deal and, in a sense, also forced Israel, in a sense, to stop its campaign. But on the other hand, what we have now is Benjamin Netanyahu, who is indeed, if he goes on with this last bombing campaign, that will clearly be a slap on the wrist of Donald Trump, which is a person who does not like slaps on the wrist. So that's for the political side of things. Then, will Israel want to carry on? Iran has very, very limited means of striking back. We've seen that over the past 12 days anyway. If you compare the damage that has been sustained by Israel and Iran, I mean, there's no comparison. Iran's, according to the health ministry, there are 606 people were killed in Iran with these strikes. 5,000 were injured. As we know, all the military infrastructure was at least hit, a lot of it destroyed. We know that all the nuclear infrastructure was also hit, most certainly probably destroyed. At least that's what Donald Trump says. Donald Trump actually also vented his anger at American networks, questioning the fact that Fordo, for example, had been completely destroyed. He said, those B-2 bombers did their job and the job is done. There's nothing but rubble. It's all under rock. Those were his exact words. So the question mark is, where do we stand with that nuclear program? Do the Iranians still have their 400 kilograms worth of highly enriched uranium? It's anybody's guess. We don't know. We don't have that information. But it really can go two ways from now. Either everybody decides to stop the attacks and the bombings, or else this could carry on. But once again, given the military situation, it's very much Israel's decision.
And James, do we have any idea of what kind of effect this could have on the leadership in these two respective countries, Israel and Iran?
Well, I think Netanyahu probably is going to come out looking, strong and having achieved his goal, which was, the goal of the Operation Rising Lion. It was called was to destroy both the nuclear enrichment facilities, but also all the ballistic program. And Netanyahu claims to have done that, and that indeed he says that there is no more existential threat posed by Iran in the short term anyway. And then when it comes to Iran, well, obviously the mullahs are trying to spin this as an Iranian victory. What they've been saying since this morning in communiques is that they had forced Israel into a unilateral ceasefire, which obviously is a narrative that is calibrated to speak to their own people, though there's been massive, damage in Iran. What's going to happen with the regime is a real question mark. I mean, they have appeared, weak, in no position to really protect the civilian population. It's been a very, very bad few months for Iran. If you look at all the proxies that have been destroyed one after the other across the whole Middle East, as it stands right now, most of the military capacities of Iran have been destroyed. Most of its regional allies and proxies have been destroyed. So Iran is much less of a force to reckon with right now in the Middle East than it was just a few months ago. And that, of course, is bad news for the current leadership.